Well, let's not go that far. Instead, let's run a scenario where a college class stopped relying on email communication or follow as though your workplace made a similar announcement for those in the workplace. Strange feeling, right? Let's consider the fallout below beginning in the class. Keeping it simple, we'd rely on a printed syllabus, rubrics, announcements in lecture, and in-person learning during collaborative office hours. Emails terrorizing the weekends would disappear, planning and execution would be performed in advance, and students would be tasked with problem solving, hopefully with the help of the greater class community that they formed. This goes both ways, as professors would be prevented from raining updates upon cowering students. Everything worked just swell 25 years ago without email. Honestly, learning and higher education itself was in a much better position back then too. Is the villainous technology of email really to blame for our troubles? Not a ton on its own, but it does pull us ever further into the sewers of what most likely is responsible for our descent, being online. And there it is. The author reveals himself as a curmudgeon that wants us to communicate with chalk. Not quite, as I understand the core benefits of tech as a cancer and education researcher. I'll save sharing the other benefits of online tools to their financially plump purveyors. Back to the bigger question for you. Does it feel like you're more online than real at work or at school? The online jungle has evolved from an intriguing organism into an alien parasite. It's not hyperbole to argue that the rise of online interactions has fostered the ills of our current state. The loss of trust, the rise of the grifter, victimhood, dishonesty, and the flood of nihilism have only climbed. Bots vomit across comment sections, realities are twisted by lies, malicious tendencies that would never be replicated in person show up. And most of all, something has emerged ready to provide its version of the truth for us in this climax. You guessed it, AI. If one phrase correlates the strongest with the online flood, it is, give me the answer right now. This is AI's apex. Nothing is faster at producing the answers, which remain highly fallible, prone to falsification or manipulation, bear limited nuance, and are currently inbreeding by training on slop from other models. We observe the consequences of answers now in the lower number of young adults reading or spending time with peers. We're trading wisdom for information, and very little of the latter is actually true. Equally, the workplace has been polluted with so much email and expectations of being online constantly that it's trickled down to schools. Educators, especially those in K-12, and employees are expected to be chronically online, always communicate with colleagues, customers, parents, students, and nothing is forced to wait for an answer or for anyone to analyze their own. Wasn't education the remarkable period to ponder life's big questions and your role? Do constant emails really promote that? Students surveyed after COVID cited losses of community and socialization as the key detriment. Offshoring in-person classes for a deluge of emails didn't help. It makes sense why workplaces are mandating returns to the office, as they clearly value the in-person problem solving and collaboration that is disappearing, noting their lower trust in Gen Z. Back to your own workplace or school, what would it feel like just to have a moment to think or analyze the biggest puzzle that you're currently addressing? I'm guessing that a ding from Outlook doesn't really do much to moderate your mounting tension. So, let's say that we run this scenario and pull the plug on most emails, maybe designating a 3-message cap, myself included, for the semester. Maybe you'd spend less time online. Let's call it less time on overall. Maybe you'd have time to engage bigger questions, read, or better yet, join others in your community. There's no better antidote to the internet's antagonism than real people. And after all, no one can reach you this weekend because emails are gone. Maybe this would lead to less impatience, which could follow with reductions to dopamine overloads. Maybe coming back together because emails are canceled is a first step towards regaining agency, purpose, appreciation, wisdom, and maybe even trust. Call me hopeful that big things can have small beginnings.